just like in arithmetic, if you know how to multiply fractions, you also know how to divide fractions. Because to divide fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. In other words, you flip the second fraction. And so if you're flipping the second fraction, you're then following the rules for multiplication. So let's look at what this seems like. If I have x over 2y divided by xy over 4, the first fraction never changes because that's what you're dividing up. So I'm going to say x over 2y, but I now am going to multiply by the reciprocal. I flip the second fraction. And after that, I just do exactly what I've been doing last night. So the x's cancel out. And notice these two y's are both on the bottom, so they don't cancel out, but the 2 cancels with the 4. When I multiply across, I have 2 over y squared. Okay, so let's do this again where there's a little more room. X over 2y, I'm going to flip it, and I get 4 over xy. I then follow the rules for multiplying, and I multiply across 2 over y squared. Okay, let's look at what this looks like with polynomials. If I've got 18 over x squared minus 25 divided by 24 over x plus 5. I do still want to put my polynomials in parentheses. The very first step is to flip the second fraction, never the first fraction. So now I have 18 over x squared minus 25 times x plus 5 over 24. Okay? So the first thing we do is flip. And then the second, now we're on to the steps for multiplication, which are, we need to factor. I'm not going to write out all the words because they were there before. And then cancel. And then multiply across. Okay? So I don't need to do all of those words. I think it's pretty clear. So 18, x squared minus 25 is a difference of squares. X plus 5, x minus 5, times x plus 5 over 24. 18 and 24 have a common factor of 6. That's 3, and that's 4. X plus 5 cancels x plus 5. When I multiply across, I get 3 over x minus 5, and even though the 4 comes next, we're used to seeing it in front, so that's the way I'm going to look at that one. Do a second example. X squared plus 3x minus 10 over 2x plus 6 divided by x squared minus 4 over x squared minus x minus 12. These problems are really easy if you remember all your factoring. Put your polynomials in parentheses, which hopefully you do. So now I'm going to flip x squared plus 3x minus 10 over 2x plus 6. Putting those polynomials in parentheses so I don't become tempted to cancel before I should. Minus x minus 12 over x squared minus 4. Now it's time to factor. I've got x and x. My signs are different. Numbers that multiply to 10 and subtract to 3 are 2 and 5. The 5 gets that sign. On the bottom, I have a common factor of 2. Over here, x and x, different signs. I'm looking for numbers that multiply to 12 and subtract to 1. They're 4 and 3. 4 gets this sign. This is a difference of squares. So, x plus 5 does not cancel. X minus 2 does. X plus 3 does. X minus 4 does not. That 4 is inside of parentheses, so it can't cancel with this 2 over here, or this 2 here. I now I multiply across. I have x plus 5 times x minus 4 over 2 times x plus 2. And just like with multiplication, it's fine to leave your answers in factored form. It comes up in this is an extension of what we did with exponents, as well as two different division signs. So if I say 2x over y to the third power divided by x over y squared divided by x over 4. Well, first I have to simplify this exponent. 2x to the third power is 8x to the third, and y to the third is y to the third. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, y squared over x, and yet again multiply by the reciprocal. If this is a division sign, that means you're going to flip, even if there are two different division signs in a row. This one tells us we're flipping this. So 4 over x. Now it's simply a matter of multiplying across, canceling things out. I have x to the third here. I've got 2 here, so that's going to leave me with x. I've got y to the third and y squared here, leaving me with y. So when I multiply straight across, I get 32 x, y. So, as with arithmetic, if you know how to multiply, you also know how to divide.